So the minister said for decades the costly, wasteful and unsustainable fuel subsidy regime has denied Nigeria the opportunity to invest in critical infrastructure, social service and the welfare of its citizens. Hence, the president took a very painful decision to abolish fuel subsidy and redirect the funds towards critical sector. Can we go to the next story, please? Okay, a former president of the Nigeria Labour Congress NLC and senator representing Edo North Senatorial District, Oshiomole, has condemned the calls for regime change from some protesters, arguing that they are exploiting the hunger protests to advance their political agenda. Recall that the End Hunger protest, which started last Thursday, has seen no fewer than 17 people killed as violence erupted in Abuja, Kano, and Niger, Borno, Kaduna, and Jigawa states. Speaking during an appearance on a television interview on Wednesday, the former Labour leader stated that the only way to change a government is through an election, as provided by the Nigerian Constitution. I did say that let nobody talk about peaceful protest, whereas I recognize the right to peaceful protest, which I exploited, enjoyed, and practicalized. I also said that when you exercise that right to protest, you must also look at the demand. And I have looked at it, and my takeaway from it is a lot of these guys are only hiding under hunger. What they are actually asking for is regime change. And I said you cannot legally, lawfully, and peacefully demand regime change under the Nigerian Constitution. On the day before the protest, I saw many people calling for peaceful protests, emphasizing that the Constitution guarantees the right to peaceful protest. I have led so many protests, both in the public and private sector, national level, and it must be clear to everyone that the only way to effect a change of governance is to go through an election as provided for the Constitution. These were the words of Oshiomole.
Yeah.
Yes, Ambassador, do you see this protest as, like you said, a disguise for regime change?
Well, you know, the heart of man is very, very difficult to understand. The last time I came here, I commended the protesters of River State, right? And said they have conducted themselves very well. And I also commended the security operatives and condemn the killings and some of the criminal activities of some in-quote protesters in some other states where lives were lost and properties were burnt. I condemned it. When you get to that extreme, it's no longer lawful protest, no longer peaceful protest. Now, I think recently again, same here in River State, we began to hear the chant of Tinubu must go. Wike must go. You know, now looks as if it's like what the senator Oshiomole is saying. It's like a regime, the protest for regime change.
And bad governance in Nigeria. That already explains a lot.
No, that's what he's talking about now. That looks as if the protest now is for a regime change. And he is advising that we are a democratic nation. That a way of ending a regime is through election, not by violence, not by, you know, crisis.
True.
So I don't think the senator is wrong. And I want to call on every protester that we cannot be asking for a military government to take over because we are a democratic nation.
All right.
Our appeal is that bad governance should end, corruption should end, life should be better for all Nigerians. The hardship is high. And I equally want to call on the president, the governors, the local government chairman, those who run our parastatals that has to do with welfare. Let us stop corruption. Let us be humane. Let us not be thinking of how to bring in amazing projects when Nigerians are dying of hunger.
Do you see this as a disguise for regime change?
Of course. Because to even identify, for the people who are writing this letter, who are calling for the protest, to even get a leader, to know how to communicate, no way.
The people have said the leader of the protest is hunger and hardship.
How can is hunger human being? Can you
go and
have a meeting with a hunger?
You can have a meeting with protesters.
Who are they? The
people who submitted the letters, who are they? Are they not human beings?
They submitted the letter to who?
The people who were protesting and submitting letters to the rightful authorities and to the government house, who are they?
No, those places, all those things they did, they are saying it from there. They did not mention their name, that they are leader. They say, I'm here on my own. No, listen to the interview.
The previous protests, they have said during previous protests.
Previous now?
No, during previous protests. People have said that the people who came out to say they're leaders of the protest, some of them were, a lot of things happened with them. So because of the fear of that, accounts being, blacklisted and all of that, people did not want to come out this time and say, oh, I'm the leader of the protest.
Is a protest in this guy, because if it's not a protest in this guy, you apply to police for a protest, and police are told, okay, fine, you have the right to protest, but don't infringe on other people's rights. When you're protesting, look at the areas you pass through in your protest. Instead of them passing through that area in their protest, they choose another route. So that is protest in this guy.
So you catch them. All right, before you come on to that, let's look at the last one now. We have